Well, Elliot, just talk about your time at the club so far. How are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's been really good. I think obviously there's a big turnover of players here, a lot of new players, so everyone's kind of getting used to each other and getting to know each other from kind of like a personal perspective as well as on the pitch, obviously. But so far I think the environment's really good. The gaffer's kind of created a really good environment. Like all the lads are fantastic. We're all kind of wanting to push in the right direction, and yeah, it's been really good.
It seems a good team spirit, doesn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously, like I said, it's difficult when you've got so many different people coming together. But I think the gaffer's obviously done it in a way where he's brought certain people in that are going to kind of fit together and buy into what we want to do, and that seems to be working. We all want the same thing, and we're all working towards that.
Last Saturday, of course, started off with a 1-1 draw. Just what are your thoughts on the game against Spennymoor?
I think it was kind of a typical first game of the season. Obviously, really hot. They kind of came with a bit of a plan, kind of a bit of, they're quite an experienced team. They didn't really have a lot of fear. They probably viewed it as a bit of a, not freebie, but they didn't really have much to lose, and they kind of played that like that in the first half. And I think we kind of beat ourselves a bit in the first half with what we were doing, but we kind of battled through that period. We worked hard. Obviously, got into half time, and obviously the gaffer saw a few things that we need to kind of tweak tactically. I think once we did that, we started the second half really, really well. I think we were the team that looked like we were going to go on and win the game, if anything. I think they had one good chance from a corner in the second half, but that was probably about it. And then we probably had most of the opportunities, which we were unfortunate not to go on and win the game. But that's certainly more like we want to play, and how we've been kind of working in pre-season was the second half.
Yeah, I think we have to remember, don't we, as well, that it's a whole new team, isn't it? 15 new players. It's not going to gel straight away, is it?
No, of course not. It's like I said, we're still working on them little combinations. I think we've shown over pre-season, we're developing them relationships. We've had some really good performances over pre-season, and obviously in pre-season you don't tend to get them little bits of kind of where your back's against the wall. It's not the same really as a league game, and we had that in the first half last week, which I think it can only kind of help us grow, really, going through that little spell in the first half and sort of working out what went wrong and going to fix it and reacting, and I sort of was really pleased how we reacted as a team in the second half.
Sort of feels like the season's going to really kick off next few days, Saturday and Tuesday. Big game against Southfields obviously on Tuesday, but this Saturday, your first away game of the season. Looking forward to that? Yeah,
definitely. It'll be a really tough game. We're kind of under no illusions that every game, especially at the start of the season, is going to be really difficult. Obviously, they've just got promoted. They're going to be a team that's kind of full of confidence. Their first home game, they're going to be really up for it. We've got to kind of match that. And then once we kind of come through that, we've got to show our quality. We've got some really good players here, and I've no doubt we'll show that.
Yeah, you sort of think their first home game at this level, a new level for them, their fans are going to be really up for it, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of something we're going to have to deal with. Going to different places, obviously it's a 3G pitch there as well, so it's a little bit different for us. These are all kind of things that we've got to adapt to, and if we want to kind of finish where we plan to at the end of the season, we've got to kind of go to all different types of places and different kind of environments and prove that we can compete and progress in all of them, really.
So on a personal level, what's your hopes for the season?
Me personally, I think obviously I'm a player that wants to kind of influence the game at the top of the pitch. I'm a creative player that wants to kind of create chances, create opportunities. I want to chip in with definitely a few goals, helping that aspect as well. And I think overall for me, it's just wanting the team to be as successful as possible. I think that comes ahead of anything individually that I want to do this season. It's just obviously it's a really big club. It's a fantastic club. Like you can see from the support that we get already. Even after the last few years that the club's been through, like the support's fantastic. Like everyone wants you to do well, and we kind of just want to give something back to them and have a really positive season that's kind of been different to the last few seasons.
Yeah, you mentioned the fans. I mean, a fantastic crowd last week. I think it was the 7th biggest in non-league football, and that's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, especially after what the club's been through in recent times, to kind of have that continued support is really massive. Obviously, we want to go and win most games this season. It's not going to be as easy as that, but I think that with their support and, like I said, the backing, like behind the goal in the second half, it just kind of drives you forward. It gives you an extra. It almost feels like you're playing with an extra player at times. Them pushing for you to score. Everything's really positive. That was it's really good to experience that for the first time.